But Darrell, let's say you're Martin Truex in 20th, or Kurt Busch, Sam Hornish, Mark Martin, Jeff Gordon in that 20th to 25th. Are you concerned about where you are right now? That big pack's not going to get away, but you don't really have good track position.
No, and if just take Jeff Gordon, he's in good company. He's back there with Mark Martin. But here's the thing. The cream rises to the top, too. And these cars that are up here right now in the front of this field are the guys that have been up there all day long. So maybe you do have a pretty good car, but you're not going to go anywhere by yourself. You got to have some help if you're back there in 15th, 20th place.
Jeff Gordon's position right now matches his car number, 24th. Steve Burns, is that a concern?
With his crew chief, Steve Letarte. Steve, you guys have employed a lot of different strategy. 2 tires, 4 tires, no tires. How good is your car, and how does it play out for the rest of this race?
I think the DuPont Chevrolet is pretty good. You know, when you have your track position, we're trying to keep it, stay to the front. When we were in the back, we just put 4 tires on it and try to stay kind of conservative. I think tires do matter. You know, I think when you see those bump drives through the trial, I think the 36 was a cause. If, you know, maybe a little bit newer tires, you might have been able to hold on to it, but we'll have to see.
Good luck. Thank you. Thanks.
I like the way he thinks. 4 tires is good. I don't care where you are. And here, even though I know we say handling's not a factor, all tires are not a factor, all those things together are huge factors.
All right, let's go to the other end of pit road. 27th place, Jamie McMurray, and 28th place, Kevin Harvick. Here's Matt.
Mike, the 2 Daytona 500 champions have been conversing back and forth via the spotters, working on their game plan. McMurray wanted to know when Harvick had planned on really pushing the button and getting aggressive and making his move to the front. Harvick's response was, with about 50 laps to go, that's when both of them plan on hitting the button and making their move to the front. So they're going to ride right now at this juncture until they can go ahead and go forward with their game plan.
All right, that's about 14 laps from now.
One thing you got to be careful of, though, if you fall back like they are right now and you get to racing each other like they are right now, that lead pack could break away and leave you.
Well, this should be a good test right here, because Mark Martin has taken his group of cars double file in the second pack. Can they catch the lead pack? We'll find out after this.
NASCAR Sprint Cup Racing on Fox is sponsored by Verizon Wireless. Big racing fan? Get Verizon Championship Racing for race highlights, behind the scenes, and exclusive interviews right on your VCAS phone. From the network with the most 3G coverage, Verizon.
60 laps complete in Talladega. When we went to break, we wondered if that Mark Martin line would lose ground or gain. They picked up Denny Hamlin and went all the way to the front of the pack. Now, Jeff Gordon, who drifted back from Mark, has picked up Dale Jr., coming right up the middle.
Yeah, they kind of spit their teammate Jeff Gordon in the 24 out that first time a couple laps ago. Then he found Dale Jr. in the 88, and here they come on the bottom.
Still got to be pretty impressed with that 11 car, Larry. Hamlin, even when they're coming, he cut in front of them, slowed them down, and jumped right back to the lead. Hamlin did.
Show you how that happened from our aerial coverage.
Here comes the 48 of Johnson and the 88 of Earnhardt. They go right by Jeff Gordon there in the 24. Now watch Hamlin. He says, uh-oh. Spotter said inside. They got to push. Jump down there.
He may not be a Hendrick Chevrolet driver, but that looked like the group that was moving.
He knew to break their momentum, and that's what he did, and it didn't hurt him. Put him right back in the lead.
On the way to break, we saw that hat on the track. The hat on the track did not belong to the cat in the hat. Page Dr. Seuss, please.
Yes, I see the hat. I'm glad I see the cat, because I was a little worried.
One more time, we should have at least one more pit stop, and those green flag pit stops, should we not have a caution, should come within about 12, 13 laps from now, as the 2 Joe Gibbs cars hook up. Kyle Busch in the 18, getting the push from Joey Logano in the 20, and there's Hamlin in the 11. We've seen those Joe Gibbs cars, plus 5 Toyotas at the front of the pack.
Toyota just seems to have a little bit of steam today. They're able to lead and take the lead pretty easily amongst that group that you see at the front right now.
At least 2 Fords right behind them, Allmendinger and Biffle. So it looks like a little bit of teaming up is going on here. 58 laps to go still.
Yeah, only one Chevrolet in the top 10 right now, and that's Juan Pablo Montoya in the 42 car up there in the 8th spot.
I know Junior's got a pretty fast car. He's been able to work to the front most every time. The guy I'm a little concerned about is that guy there on the 24 car. He seems to be able to not keep up. Seems like when they get him up there, he falls back. That's Gordon down on the inside there in the 24. I think he and Johnson are trying to work together in the 48.
And they have been several times today, Darrell. Remember in pre-race the harsh words they had for each other in Texas? That's all forgotten now. There's 3 of the 4 Hendrick cars lined up nose to tail working together.
Well, we're getting it. Larry, you can tell. You can just tell that we're running out of laps. I mean, this is starting to shape back up like we saw the start of this race. Everybody now is going to start showing what they got.
Junior and Hamlin up the middle, and that's a very crowded lane right there with Bobby Labonte and Casey Kane in front of them. David Reagan in the mix.
Mike, we've got the top 27, 28 race cars running less than 2 seconds from each other right now with 56 laps to go.
You know, you talked about Juan Pablo. He's been right around at the back this whole race. He doesn't know, and nobody really knows what he's got. That's the problem with staying around the back and not being up at the front. You don't know who you want to work with, who you can work with. I know one thing, it's getting pretty crowded.
Here comes Big Daddy in that 24 car. Jeff Gordon getting a push from his teammate Jimmy Johnson in the 48. Don't know if he'll lead this lap. Looks like that outside line has the run.
He's such a slow dog, you know. He just lays around. You think, oh, he doesn't have anything for him today. And then, but here he is, back to the front.
The top 10, 5 Chevys, 3 Toyotas, 2 Fords. How quickly things change. Larry, when's that stop going to come? We've got 55 laps to go.
It should happen at about lap 142 to 145 right in there, which again is going to be about 10 laps from now.
I'm really getting worried about the way these guys are bottling up getting into 3. We've seen that be a problem area before. Get 3 and 4 wide getting in there. Something's got to give.
And how about Bobby Labonte in that 71 car on the bottom right there? You see him working his way. Remember, had that penalty early for his crew going over the wall too soon.
Labonte's overcome that. He's got Jimmy Johnson behind him, Jeff Burton, Elliott Sadler, Casey Kane, and Mark Martin in the bottom lane.
There's a car up there in the front as well, the 6 car down on the bottom, David Reagan. We haven't talked a lot about him today. He won a nationwide wide race here last year by being in 6th place on the last lap. Whoa.
Oh, boy. Reagan got a little bit of a shot there from Jimmy Johnson as Johnson slewed sideways to change lanes and was connected to Jeff Burton.
And this is what's bothering me, Mike. I'm seeing this more and more and more. Everybody's starting to get a little bit more aggressive, pushing and shoving and hitting a little harder than they have been all day long.
And guys, I talked about him early. The 5th car in line on the high side, Mike Bliss in the 09 car. Remember, that's the team that won this race a year ago with Brad Keselowski.
Every driver wants to be as far to the front as possible when they peel off to make that green flag pit stop, so that in case of a bobble on pit road, they won't lose too much track position. That's what the infighting is going on right now.
And I'm going to tell you what, it's going to be big with these guys coming to pit road under green when you look at the wad of cars we got there right now in that lead pack.
.53 laps and at least 1 pit stop to go. Who's going to win at Talladega? Wow. Hey, here's a fellow who thinks that is Jack Roush's hat. Oof. Dale Jr.